Oh, that torque. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be reviewing a 2022 Lexus LS 500. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this LS 500. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below where you can check this one out. It is available for sale right now. On a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town, and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 416 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs, and then 442 pound-feet of torque at only 1,600 RPMs. Now let's go over the front end of this LS. First off, this one's finished in atomic silver, which is such a cool color. It's just like so dynamic depending on how the light hits it. Look at these really sharp lines there on the side of the hood. Coming down below, you guys can see with the daytime running light and the LED headlamps. Parking sensors here on the front end. And then notice the Lexus logo there with the camera below it. And then you guys can see here with the metallic gray front grille, and then we have all of the chrome trim around that. And there's the front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires dropped on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the coloration and design on the wheels, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. These wheels really pop, especially in contrast to the atomic silver on this particular one. This one also does have the optional air suspension package. Notice how you've got the chrome trim there, and then it also continues here on the side. And you've got a little bit here on the mirrors and then around the windows. The mirrors are black though on the top, which is pretty interesting. And then notice there's some chrome trim. The reason I say it's interesting is like, other than like the top of the roof, there's no other piece of trim that's black on this car except for the mirror cap. It's, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, there's the side. Now here's our key fob. Just like other Lexus models with remote start, you press the lock button a couple of times, then hold it down, and then that'll remote start it. But if you want to open up the trunk, just press that, and it'll pop it right open. Now popping inside here, as you guys can see, storage space is fantastic. This is a very large sized sedan, so you kind of expect it. And of course we have our Lexus first aid kit, which is pretty cool. And then look at the carpeting here. It's very like soft for a trunk liner. It's pretty interesting. But anyways, when you're all done, all you have to do is just press this button, and look how big the opening is. It's very large. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see here with the taillights how they kind of mimic the Lexus checkmark logo. You got the Lexus logo there in the center, LS 500 with your all-wheel drive badge. Parking sensors here along the bottom, and then notice the covers there for the exhaust tips. And yeah, there you go. Now this is where the real magic begins, and that's the interior. So we have beautiful leather trim here at the top, and you guys can see here with the inserts down below. Look at the stitching that goes throughout, and then more leather trim down below that, and it kind of like floats here with the handle in terms of the design. And look at the wood trim, and then speaker for the sound system. That looks really cool. Actually, that's super unique. Anyways, here are the seats. Again, notice with the stitching that goes all throughout with the seats, and we'll pop in quickly. There's legroom. Headroom. I guess I have a little mirror so that I can stare at myself, make sure that I look pretty, right? And then notice there with the storage space, and then see wood trim here on the back of the seat. And then we've got heated seats here in the back. We got for the sunshade, and then also for the front seat, that's for the front passenger seat to get them out of the way because, well, of course, this is the most important seat in the vehicle. And then, yeah, center console storage space is great. And it's just like, it's pretty normal looking. Like you can just pick that up and then boom. Like that is pretty cool. And I got my own sunroof here in the back as well. This is definitely a nice place to be. Vents down there, and they're also on the side too, which is nice. But anyways, let's pop to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see again with the leather trim here at the top, and then down below again with the stitching design, and then more leather trim down below that. And even the bottom portion of the door panel is soft touch, which is great. You got the nice wood trim. We've got 3 different settings for the memory seats, and notice how we can adjust the passenger side seat if you want. And then you've got the blind spot mounting for the mirrors. We've got all of our window controls here on the floating kind of like piece. Well, it looks like it's floating. The mirrors do power fold in. And then here are the front seats. Again, look at that stitching design. That is fantastic. Power adjustments here on the side with the lumbar. Lexus logo. And then pedals pretty normal with that. Got your gas cap release. You've got that for the trunk. And then it's for the heads-up display, and then the camera. And then just look at how everything kind of like flows together. Steering wheel is power adjustable. Let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. We've got beautiful leather trim all around it, and then notice the wood inserts here on the steering wheel. Definitely gives it a unique look. And we even have stitching around the airbag cover. Paddle shifters here on the back for that 10-speed. And then notice we've got our controls for the center stack. Volume controls, voice command controls. We do have cruise control with our lane keep assist. And then we have our turn signal light stock and then our windshield wiper stock as well. And definitely a really nice steering wheel. Pretty interesting looking gauge cluster. You guys can see here with the temperature and then the fuel gauge there. And then notice here with the center screen how I can scroll through some different menus, see different bits of info here on the car, and the animations actually look pretty cool. Now I do have a snow mode that I can go into, and then it'll just say snow there in the corner. And notice the suspension is set to high as well. And then notice here I can go into comfort, and then there's an eco mode, and then there's a normal, and then custom. Cool animations actually. Sport. And of course we have our Sport Plus. And so yeah, overall cool gauge cluster. So here is the center infotainment screen. First off, we're gonna pop it into reverse. So you can see we've got a really nice backup camera with trajectory lines that turn off the steering wheel. We have our bird's eye view as well. And it also retracts the sunshade automatically when you put it in reverse so that you can see out of the back window a little bit easier. But yeah, really solid from a camera perspective, which helps because this is a pretty large size sedan. Notice I'm on the climate page right here with the infotainment screen. Now I can control this with a keypad if I want, but it is also a touchscreen, so you can interface with it whichever way you prefer, which is very nice. And other than that, you know, response time with the screen is fantastic. There are quite a few different like menus to scroll through, but you do have like shortcut buttons down below, which I'll show you guys in a moment. So it kind of makes it pretty self-explanatory with the different things that you would want to potentially go into. But yeah, overall, interesting screen. Also, there's a clock there on the side. This thing I think is really cool in Lexus models is how they do like the design with the vents. Like, look how cool that looks. And then on the dash for the material use as well, really nice. And look at the stalks for like the drive mode, for example. And ooh, passenger even has memory seats. Look at that. Definitely nice. Anyways, we've got our controls here for the climate system, and we've got like our little CD player down below, and the shifter for that 10-speed automatic, analog control for the infotainment system. And then if we press that piece of wood trim, you can see there. And then notice here we've got this for the air suspension, the sunshade, and then it's like a shortcut button to the seats there in the infotainment system, and then also to different stuff with the seats because there's lots of adjustability, as you guys can see. Something to mention is this has automatic climate controls and automatic seat controls, so it will automatically cool or heat the seats and cool or heat the cabin based on the outside, which is, I think, neat. Anyways, we have this center console which pops open this way. You guys can see the 12 volt with the USBs, and then there is a button on the other side which makes it pop open the other way. It is definitely magic with how it works, but it's pretty cool. It's very large. Like, look how big that is. And then glove box, it's just normal. There's like a little button right there that you press. You guys can see storage space. The front of it's wrapped in leather. And then popping up top here, we do have a dual sunroof. So you've got the sunroof there in the rear you guys saw earlier, and then we have the sunroof here up front as well. Sorry about how bright that is. Let me turn that down a little bit for you guys. But anyways, sunglass holder with felts, and then traditional mirror. It does have dimming built into it already though. And then notice with the headliner, really nice with the material use, as you guys can see. Even the grab handles are nice. They've got like leather on them. That's crazy. Now here is the window sticker for this Lexus LS 500. You guys can see the standard equipment here on this LS. And then notice the base price there, $79,350. Now this does have some optional equipment, including the air suspension added to it. After all options, total MSRP is $93,370. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood with the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So, setting off here in the LS 500. And the last time that I was able to review one of these was an F Sport for the 2021 model year, because Lexus sent me out one of these for a demo, and that was such a nice week. This is just a really nice luxury car, frankly. It's very comfortable. Now, it's not as techy as some of the rivals out there, and we will talk about that in today's video. And look at that, that's a Shelby GT500, I believe. Those are rare. But anyways, so smooth. That's a benefit to just Lexus's platforms, and then also the fact that this has air suspension helps out as well. Yeah, it's so comfortable. So comfortable. I might be getting my Mustangs mixed up now. I'm kind of like concerned that that's a 350 and I called it a 500. And it's going away, so I won't be able to, I didn't see the front end, I didn't see the back. Sorry if I'm wrong. Anyways, it's big, but it actually handles really well. So smooth. It's such like a nice luxury experience, and you go over things, you don't even feel it. And these seats are really comfortable. Again, the cooled function definitely coming in clutch, because it is toasty today, that is for sure. Yeah, it's such a nice experience. Other than that, visibility is actually pretty solid throughout the car, which is great as well. Even with the sunshade up, frankly, it doesn't really impede visibility all that much. Maybe at nighttime it would, but I mean, at least during the day it doesn't really do anything. Pop it into the Sport Plus mode, so it gets a little bit more aggressive with everything. I wonder if I press the air suspension button to lower it. So it was keeping up with the higher ride height setting, even though I was driving at pretty quick speeds. Oh, that torque. Forgot how much I love the sound of this engine too. Yeah, definitely this engine's all about the torque. That is for sure. We're gonna slow down here a little bit, just making sure there's no one behind us. Okay. Yeah, this engine's all about torque. I imagine that someone, you know, driving this is probably not going to be going into Sport Plus mode and going full throttle. You're probably just going to drive it in, you know, normal or comfort mode. And let's pop it into comfort mode. And just cruising around. And that's where this car just really shines, because it's so comfortable. And Lexus build quality is amazing. And so there's no rattling or anything like that. And so yeah, let's sum things up. So exterior wise, you know, I think it's a really good looking car. Now, a lot of its competitors are pretty flashy, like the Genesis G90, you know, Mercedes S-Class. Like, they're definitely way flashier than this. This is a little bit more under the radar, but I think a lot of people that, you know, are going to be buying this car I think they'd like that, right? You don't want to get a ton of attention. You just want a nice luxury car that, again, flies under the radar. Interior is beautiful. Fit and finish is amazing. It's a really nice interior overall. Like, it's a very comfortable place to be. Seat comfort is great, and yeah, I think they just did a really good job with the interior. Now, again, the elephant in the room is going to be the tech, right? This has, like, in my opinion, quite a bit of luxury tech, right? With, you know, a very nice, well, the interior is really nice, but, like, you know, very nice infotainment system, gauge cluster, right? It's digital, it looks great, and you know, it's got dual sunroof. It's got quite a bit, but you know, it doesn't have like the crazy light shows that you get in like the new Mercedes S-Class and, you know, all the crazy tech that those cars have. But here's the deal. This has reliability, because it's a Lexus, meaning it's a Toyota, so it's going to last a lot longer, right? And on top of that, right, all that crazy tech is great until it just doesn't work anymore, and then you basically have a car that, you know, isn't nearly as cool as when everything worked. So I really like this. I think that if I was in the market for a luxury car like this and I wanted to keep it long term, then yeah, Lexus LS 500, right? Because it's got the reliability, and I know that, like, I'd still be able to drive this car like 10 years from now and everything's still gonna work. Whereas like Mercedes S-Class, Genesis G90, they've got a lot of tech going on. BMW 7 Series, again, not so sure, you know, about powertrains and about all the crazy stuff going on inside those cars. And so, I mean, maybe lease them, I guess, I don't know, but this one's definitely the long-term keeper. And also, I'm sure resale value on this is stronger too. luxury cars in general, you know, big luxury cars in general don't have like the best resale value compared to other vehicles out there. But, you know, being a Lexus and, you know, people knowing that it's reliable, I'm sure that these are holding their value better than the other ones in terms of, you know, MSRP versus, you know, percentage wise, right? So yeah, that's the new LS500. It's more of an old school feel, but I like that. I kind of like, if you just want old school luxury, it's got some tech, but on the more old school side, that's what this gives you, and it's really nice. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this LS500. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with this car. Check out the Tron in the description down below. I'll see you guys.